Another major topic students are interested in, of course, is the Statement of Purpose, or SOP. How long did it take you to write your SOP? And maybe if you could share a couple of things that you wanted to highlight in your SOP to the selection committee.
This part is actually really weird because I wrote my Statement of Purpose in just 4 days. Yeah.
This is not recommended for all students, but I'm sure you might have been thinking about it for quite some time.
It was because I was so busy collecting my documents and there were so many to, collect and put together. And at the same time, I was also attending university, so I was doing everything at the same time. I wouldn't say I've procrastinated, but I did had an outline, what I wanted to write in my Statement of Purpose from maybe like 3 months. I just wrote in rough, but the actual thing that I put together was in just 4 days, which is not recommended at all. Please don't do it. It's a very risky thing, which I did. But because I just genuinely wrote what I wanted to say, and it just came out within. Like I did like 2-3 trials and like tour pages, but the final one, which I felt like it was okay, so I sent it to my literature professor in my undergrad university, and she proofread it for me. So I got it proofread from a faculty, so it was pretty great. It was pretty helpful. Yeah.
Was there anything you needed to make sure that you wanted to put in your SOP to appeal to the selection committee?
In general, I wrote about how I started liking Korea. Like, that was my first, not motive, but the whole point is why I want to study in Korea, right? I felt it was very important to show why I like this country or why I like this culture. But I didn't directly go and write okay, I love Korea, I like this and blah, 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 I want to study there. No, that's not recommended. Please don't do that. Nobody wants to know you like K-pop. I made sure I don't have to make it as a story, but instead actually tell my actual experiences, but also include what I did. For example, what I studied and how that helped me to be open to new cultures, because I studied media and that's how I was introduced to Korea, like watching films and stuff. So I just put everything together, what I actually did and how it brought me closer to my goal and how it can help me reach my future goal. So that's what I did.
Again, I'm not speaking on behalf of GKS or in any official capacity whatsoever. We do want you to be authentic. So if really, K-pop or Hallyu or dramas or film was really the reason you got interested in Korea, I think it's fine to mention, in passing. We just don't want the whole Statement of Purpose to be about, it's not like a fan letter. Because you will be here representing your country in a way in Korea and to study it. And so hopefully we can see that link between your, past experience and how this is going to link to this program and why this is, the best step for you and how you can also contribute to the program. So I don't think it's necessarily a minus.
I did write about what I actually liked. It's not like I completely omitted that I don't like K-pop. I mean, I am an ARMY and I wrote about BTS in it, but I didn't write it as a fan, that I'm a crazy fan or something. No, I wrote it how they helped me to get a sense of belongingness, to form a community in India, away from Korea, but still feel closer to Korea. That's how I try to relate it. No matter how different we are, but we have so many similarities.
So Angela was also sharing about the process of her SOP, and when it came to her research interests, that you wanted to highlight specific, perhaps faculty or other, what some faculty were working on in terms of their research in your SOP. So maybe you could talk about that as well?
I actually went through EWA's website so many times, and I check out all the faculties and their area of interest and what was similar to mine. So I just mentioned the professor's name and about their paper and how it relates to what I want to study, and just a sentence that I would like to do my research under so and so professor for so and so topic. Like, yeah, that was it. That was pretty short. I really didn't reach out to the professor though. And other than this, I think it's very important to study the curriculum. Super, super important, because when you write your study plan, which is the second part of GKS SOP, you need to write what exactly you're gonna study. In my case, I actually started writing from how I'm gonna study Korean, because I had like no topic, nothing. So I actually wrote how I'm gonna achieve my certain goal, like level of topic, in how many months, or like which semester, and what I'm like trying to do, and if I will continue studying Korean in the future, even when I finish my language year, because 1 year is pretty short to study Korean until level 6. So that's how I mentioned that very briefly, not like completely, because you have only like 1 page and you have to write everything, including your language year and your actual major. Then I wrote briefly about my interest and the kind of electives. I highly recommend, like, make a plan, at least a rough. You really don't have to follow it when you actually come to Korea and you get enrolled. You really don't have to stick to the same plan. I mean, you can always change the courses, and you can do that. That is fine, but you need to have a rough plan of which electives you're gonna take, or like which programs or courses you're interested in, and if you're gonna write a thesis, or if you're interested in an internship, and if you are interested in an internship, where you want to intern, that is also important. So I did write like I want to intern, and I actually mentioned where I could intern. I mean, this is very imaginary, but you need to have that imaginary goal. At least you have this vision, and these are the plans. You need to have like a proper plan, I would say, to entice the panel. Yeah.
Can you talk about your experience in preparing for the interview, and also, what you did practically, and also how you prepared your heart and mind for those few minutes for that interview?